Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Nis. A quick update from the last week. I graduated the Fire Academy, straight out of Fire Academy. I can start applying. I can start looking places now. Super exciting. But yeah, let's get to the title of this video. A few months ago, I actually posted something on YouTube, and I said something about my dad because I have my tattoo on my side. I said, I'll explain it later because it says loving you always and it says dad. For the most part, a lot of you know because I posted on Instagram, stuff like that. Rest in peace, Dad. So you guys know that my dad passed away, but you guys don't really know how he passed away. So I'm going to get into this story. So it was June 9th, 2002, and it was about, I believe, 2 a.m. in the morning. And my dad had came home prior to 2 a.m. in the morning, and he started cooking. He ended up passing out on the sofa while it was cooking. And in New York, if you don't know, this was in the Bronx, New York, so we use gas stoves, so you actually have flame, whereas I know like now it's just a heated top, but no, we had gas, so the heat and the flames just combusted. It was not a good time. And yeah, because he slept, I hate saying it was his fault, but he fell asleep and it caught on fire in the kitchen. Me and my mom were in the next room over, and I remember, I was only 6 years old, and I remember my mom tapping me and then taking a quilt and throwing it over my entire body. It was really hot, but she was trying to save me from steam burns or radiation burns, and she just threw the whole quilt over me, and I remember it being extremely hot, and I remember quickly taking it off, sticking my foot out, sticking my arm out, and uncovering my forehead a little bit so that I can get a little bit of air. And you can't really tell anymore, but it just looks like a tan at this point. But you can see how this part of my hand is lighter, but then there's some dots. That was just a burn. I have some right there that you can see. And then obviously the one on my forehead. My mom has it all over her arms, but yeah, she definitely got it worse than me, but that's because she was standing in the fire after she covered me. And eventually, after standing in the fire for a little bit, my mom approached me and said, Nis, I need your help. To this day, she doesn't know why she asked a 6-year-old my opinion, but she took my opinion and she listened to me. Her question was, do you want to wait for the fire department to come, or do you want to jump out the window? In New York, we were on the first story, but there was a really big basement below us. So if she was going to jump out the window, she was going to put me on her chest and jump backwards. It could have left my mom paralyzed. It could have left one of us with, for sure, broken bones for so many years. Like I said, it could have left my mom paralyzed, so I don't know what it was in my 6-year-old brain that was like, no, I'm not jumping with you. So she listened to me. And she actually doesn't remember calling 911. She was in panic mode, but she was taking care of me, and then somehow our next door neighbor realized that there was smoke coming from underneath our door. And so she called 911. They arrived only a few minutes later. It was the fire trucks, and they arrived, and my mom said that she remembers them busting into the door and her seeing the flashlight, and she thought she was seeing the light, and she was like, no, I'm not ready, it's not time, I don't want my daughter I don't want it to be over yet. And then she realized after a little bit that it was just the light off the firefighter's helmet just trying to find us in the room. The firefighters apparently grabbed her first, and then before even moving, she said, my daughter, and I was in her arms. So he grabbed me as well, and the firefighters removed us from the fire. And for the most part, that's why I'm here today. That's why I did everything that I did, was because I was in that situation, and I wanted to be just like those men and women or whoever. I wanted to be like those men that came in and saved my life and gave me and my mom a second opportunity to live. And they did so much for me and my mom, and I just can't show any more respect than what I'm doing right now. And I'm putting my life on the line for somebody else the same way that they did for me. So we were in the hospital for like 3 months. My mom was in for probably a month and a half or 2 months. I think I was in for a little less than a month because I only had minor burns. But yeah, my dad passed away in that fire. Wasn't burned to death or anything like that. He just had smoke inhalation. The fire barely touched him, but my mom had to see my room after the fire, and it was just pitch black. Everything was destroyed. Me and my mom had to start all over again. And luckily, we had amazing family members that took us in. I lived with my grandparents for multiple years. My mom was able to get back on her feet, and that's when she met my stepdad. And they actually met in middle school, and they were dating in high school, and then they got back together after the fire, and he gave her a home, he gave her another family, so everything worked out in the end. But yeah, that's the reason I wanted to be a fighter, was because of everything that they did. And to this day, I was searching, and I have no idea who saved my life. I don't know his name. I don't know his or her name. I don't know what department they worked in. All I know is that I really wanted to find out, because, you know me, I'm all about tattoos, and there's a reason I'm doing this, and I wanted to be able to get a name. I wanted to be able to get a house number, because how many people can say that they were saved by firefighters and are becoming a firefighter? It's a story that everyone's like, you need to get it out there. And when I started a fire academy, I had to write a biography, and my teacher read it, and he came up to me one day and he goes, you have to find him. And that's the goal. I have to find him. I have to know who he was. That's just it. I just need to. No ifs, ands, or buts. So that was a little bit of my story. Like I said, the next video is going to be something truly amazing. The world is such a tiny place. And one person could know one person that could lead to another person, and I could find him. So I'm hoping that my family helps. I'm hoping that 10,000 of you guys help, because my goal is to reach out to him and to find him. So him or her, sorry. I keep saying him. Girls can be firefighters too. But yeah, for the most part, that's it, you guys. I'm going to post another video, like I said, in just probably a few minutes after this one. But we shall see. Thank you guys for listening so much. I don't need any sympathy. I don't need any guilt trip. I'm fine. I'm here. My mom's fine. My mom's here. Like I said, sadly, I lost my father. But everything happens for a reason. I wouldn't have my siblings. I wouldn't have Tony. I wouldn't have Nico if that didn't happen. And it sucked that it happened. But like I said, everything happens for a reason. And you have to keep moving forward. All right. Love you guys. Bye.